right, now it's time to take a look at the right side of our Photoshop Elements screen where we do our edits. So these are the editing windows. Now, as I showed you in the last video, I can actually do some changing to this and put different windows here. For example, if I want a color palette, I can add that in if I want to. So these can change, so they may not look exactly like this when you pull up your version of Photoshop Elements, but I want to talk a few minutes about the most common. The first one of those is effects. Now under effects I have some choices. I have filter effects, which are added to my image. So let's go to our little owl and let's drag and drop some of these over here. So this pixelates our photo, adds some noise. You can't tell that very well on your screen. Let's go to Chrome. Let's add some Chrome to the photo and give it a second and you will see a vastly different photo. Spin, spin, spin. Alrighty, so this is what our little owl looks like in Chrome. Kind of creepy looking. But it also opened another window where I can click on these one by one and kind of get an idea of what these filters are going to do. So some of the filters change my photo too much, some of them not enough, some of them change it kind of weird. Let's cancel that out. Again, these filters are additive, so I still have the noise filter on. If I don't want that effect, I need to go and edit, undo that effect if that's not something I want to keep. So there's one of the other filters called difference clouds. Again, kind of a creepy looking owl. So lots of different effects to choose from. Let's put them in glow. And now he's a little glow bird. Maybe it's not a filter that I want, maybe it's a frame. So the next one is called Layer Styles, and for that layer I can change the way the edges look. So I'm going to drag and drop over here. It asks me if I want to turn my background into a layer. Some of these really don't have a whole lot of effect. It just has a very minor effect around the edges. You really need multiple layers before the level tools come into effect. Let's go with an inner glow on this list. And that, oops. There we go. Now I've got kind of this little noisy edge going around the edge of my picture. Photo effects are like the other effects, although they are dominant for photos, things that you would want to do to a photo. So maybe I want to add color changes to my little owl. So there he is, a little on the green side. Change it over to black and white, things like that. And then the last button says FX. That's all of those effects shown at the exact same time. So I can kind of play around and do all the effects at once. Again, remember they're additive, so if I don't like something, I need to edit undo or edit revert to get back to the beginning. Alrighty, now let's add some layers. I'm going to very quickly take my owl, select the inverse, copy my owl, and I'm going to go put him in this tree. Maybe. Oh, little owl. He's going off the edge of the page. That's why I can't see him. There he goes. We'll add him to the flowers instead. Maybe to the boat. Ha! There we go. Alright, so now he can sit on the roof. Little owl. So now I have two layers over here, and if I want to manipulate that background, I have to click over to that layer. If I want to work on the owl, I have to click on the owl. Okay, so if I want to move the owl, but I'm clicked on this layer, the background layer, there's no way I can move the owl. All I'm going to do is move my sailboat around. Okay, I have to click back on my owl. The bottom one is called the content, and this is stickers and other things. So let's see, let's add a cat with the owl, and now I have, he's his own layer. I got a black cat, click the check mark and he clears up. Let's say I want a apple on top of the boat. So now he's been appled. Okay, so these are like little stickers that you can add to it. One time I did a picture of my daughter in her Halloween costume holding out her hand, an empty hand, and in that hand I put a fake jack-o'-lantern, kind of like that one, to manipulate the image so that it look more Halloween-y. Okay, so the cat looks fairly like he's sitting on the roof, but he's still kind of cartoony. But that's what the content does. The other thing it will do is allow you to put frames. Let me see frames only, please. I can add a frame to an image and then drag my photo here. So drop in a photo inside the frame. There we go. And now I have a whole bunch of layers. All right, so I'm covering up the owl that's up there at the top, but the cat is showing, and that's because of the layers. Okay, so if I don't want the cat to show, I need to move the cat back behind that image that I created. So now the owl can peek out. Let's say I want the owl to come to the foreground. I need to find where the owl is and move it up until he shows. There he is. Oop, I did the cat at the same time. Okay, so that's your layers panel and your content panel.